It's interesting to, I guess, just think about just some of the things that we view in life, and certain the things that we get inspired by. One of the things tonight was topic that came up for me was the in between time. This is something that can be difficult on so many different levels, and also can be approached from so many different perspectives. Because tonight, when I was harping on the topic, made me think about, of course, mental health, but then also how that in between time can manifest a lot of struggles with people. For one, is the in between time could be something that we attempt to avoid, but then also when we're in that in between phase, we don't know what to even do with it. Again, the in between time could be maybe you're in between conversations with someone, or you're in between tasks, you're in between jobs, in between relationships, anything. That in between time could really be beneficial for you, but for a lot of people is scary. Tonight I wanted to just really think about the in between time and why I personally fear it. Because I know, I think about the in between time between a manic phase or a depression phase. Either one, those in between times where you're supposed to be normal, when you feel like yourself. I know what it's like to sit in those in between phases. I know what it's like to have a million thoughts going through your head at times, and you really get carried away with those particular things because you don't have anything to distract you. You get so engulfed in the what about this and what about that, that you don't know really if you're going or coming. And that's a scary place to be. So to avoid being in those in-between phases, we try to fill those holes and those gaps, whether that be with conversation with someone all of the time, all day, every day. I know some people like that. I find myself getting into that rut too, where you're always talking to someone. You're always having to be around someone, or interacting with somebody, whether that be actual person that you're interacting with, or via social media or whatever other platform. We're always engaged because it's scary to sit in that in between time by yourself. When you do that, you're forced to listen to yourself. You're forced to deal with whatever you may have been running from. Or some things may even come up that you don't even know that you were running from. So it's a period where it could be very tough. And then even some people, that in between time, you may fill it with drugs or alcohol, or other risky behaviors, filling it with pointless relationships or so many things, man, which could lead to a destructive path or a destructive cycle. I get it. Trust me, I get it. Because been through those phases where I'd rather be busy with 50 million tasks, whether that be school, work, or whatever, than just to sit there on my own thoughts because I'm scared of where they're going to take me. But at some point, you got to start running from it because continuing to run will, only lead to things that you continue to try to fill those things with. And they'll never really satisfy you because you're not really addressing the real issue. So one of the things I guess I wanted to really just bring up tonight is just understanding that I too deal with that, that fear of the in-between time. In that fear, I feel it with, just different things, even if it's productive or not, it's still the point of filling that space without necessarily sitting in it. Those are opportunities where, you can really listen to yourself, really connect to see who you are. But if you don't give yourself that opportunity, you won't be able to learn who you are as a person. You won't be able to grow and connect with yourself and get to the point where you love yourself. Because you never really figure out what you really don't like about yourself or your surroundings. So it's not just about, just yourself, but you don't truly know what's really impacting you. So that in-between time or phase is something that we got to learn to embrace. One of the things is, for me, I had to, come up with a list of things that you want to do in your in-between phases, whether that's in between tasks at work, whether that's in between conversations with individuals, whether that's, anything that you have this particular downtime. You don't always have to fill it with engagement. I know meditation is very difficult for some people. Well, a lot of people, because we're always stimulated. So we always feel like we're missing out, or we feel like we have to be doing something at all particular times. But create a list of just things you can do during your in-between time. Call it your in-between phase, your in-between checklist. So whether that's be, writing in a journal or coloring or taking a walk, those are active forms of actual meditation. Even being able to just sit there with your thoughts, so even if it's only for 5 minutes, man, listen to yourself. You'll be able to really learn a lot in that small time frame. You don't always have to attempt to fill that void with something else. That's honestly, the void is a bottomless pit. So, I don't know. It was sitting heavy with me, man, tonight to acknowledge that in between time and that in between phase, whether that be a small amount of time or it be a large space that can go on for months or years. We have to embrace that. So I would love to know, what things do you do to embrace your in-between phases? what things help you manage that downtime that we are afraid of because of what we might uncover, or what we may that rabbit hole that we may go down in our own head. Let me know. But then also, create your list. Start implementing. Make it could be something small, and start off very intentional. Being intentional about your in between phases and your in between time. Yeah, just let me know. Peace.